everyone, it's your friend Think Noodles, and welcome to Ask Think for Monday, February 2nd, 2015. Guys, the Patriots won the Super Bowl, and I don't know if you guys, not all of you guys are American, but if you watched the game really close down to the end, I mean, I really thought, I mean, it was almost like a scripted TV series where this, you know, you're looking at it and then there was that catch at the end. And okay, anyway, yeah, it was a really good game. But the Patriots did pull it out in the last few seconds. So let's get started with last week's question. And I asked you guys, what is your favorite dream and why? And Johanna Geronimo says her favorite dream is when she was singing with Ariana Grande on stage. Felt like she was a real singer and had a pretty dress on. Forgot what color it was. Well, that's not really unusual that people forget parts of their dreams, but at least you remember the really exciting parts. Jim Beadle said his favorite dream is where I answer his question on Ask Think. Second Master says his favorite dream was, for some reason in his dream, didn't have an anxiety disorder anymore. So he could do more things and not get scared over nothing. I know it doesn't sound like the best dream in the world, but for someone like him, it was the best dream ever. I wish it were real, and that's a great dream to have, and I hope that as you get older, you'll get over the anxiety disorder. Think Noodles fan girl says, my favorite dream actually involves you. If you see this, think, okay, it was at Disney World with my parents and I was in line for a ride and I noticed you were in front of me and I said, hi, Justin. And you said hi back and we sat next to each other or to you on the ride. Oh, why I like it? Because I met you. Aww. Danielle Beta's favorite dream was when she went to school and everyone was unusually nice to her. And she walked into math and all these YouTubers were there and threw her a half birthday party. They had cake, and I was the magician, which I would love. I used to do card tricks, or try to do. I'm not very good at them, but I used to love to try and learn like really cool card tricks and stuff. But then her best friend said that she had to eat a sacred apple and didn't want to, so she got pushed into a hole made of ice cream. Better than lava or fire. Holly and Stuff says her favorite dream was when she met Stampy, me, and a person from Downtown Abbey, or Downton Abbey, I think is how you say it. Anyway, after that, I won $1 million and you showed me how to make a paper hat. That sounds like something I would do. Sarah Jane says, my favorite dream is the one where I went to a concert and Taylor Swift came on stage. And in the middle of the concert, she sat down on two computers and asked if she wanted to play Minecraft with her. And they started playing Minecraft on stage with everyone watching. That sounds amazing. Muffin Crumb said her dream, or his dream, I don't know. The Muffin's dream was that they and two friends were at an amusement park hiking on a mountain, and one of their friends fell off into a giant river and got washed away and ended up in an eel tank in the aquarium. Ugh. Jackson Shipley, maybe Jackson or Jack Osen. My favorite dream is being in a land of cake. Cake is life. If you don't like cake, go try it and don't stop unless I blow my whistle. P.S. I have no whistle. So you just eat cake forever. Anna Jiao, I think Jiao. My favorite dream was when I was walking to school and then my friend that moved away to Taiwan forever was in front of me waving. I ran to her and hugged her. I think she said something like that she came back and she was living here again. Oh, you must really miss her. Neon Pegasus said their favorite dream was when My Little Pony took over the world and the humans died and as she became the queen. Dampy MC says their favorite dream was when they were getting chased by dinosaurs eating a banana in a panda onesie with a pancake on their head. Yeah, I have weird dreams. Yeah, so do I. Major Minecrafter says that their favorite dream are almost all their dreams. They've trained themselves in lucid dreaming that they have one almost every night, at least 3 times a week, and they get to control what they do in their sleep. That's awesome. Matthew McKinney said their favorite dream is when National Geographic sponsored a no-expense trip for the 3 smartest kids, and him and 2 of his good friends were chosen, and they got to travel around the world to places like ancient Egypt and the Amazon. That is an awesome dream. The Serpent Wolf says their favorite dream was turning into a dragon, being raised by wolves, and getting adopted by his real family. And they were firefighters too. Yeah, that's a lot of random stuff all in one dream. The Awesome Pep YouTube says their favorite dream was when they were swimming in chocolate, but they didn't eat it because it's really unhealthy if you eat that much chocolate. Also, probably unhealthy to eat chocolate that you're swimming in. Just, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Program Ninja said their favorite dream is when they woke up in a bright, colorful world, surrounded by singing midgets talking about a weird witch. But he didn't care. The only thing he wanted to do was go home. When he asked the fairy in a bubble how to go home, she told him to follow a yellow road, and so he did. On the way, I met a scarecrow, a rusty robot, and a scaredy cat. When we were approaching a magical green city, a bunch of flying monkeys. Wait a minute. I think I've seen this dream before on TV. Is that the Wizard of Oz? Dara Haydari says, my favorite dream was, I forgot. And again, that's not unusual at all. I forget most of my dreams as well. Woofy's Entertainment says, my dream is getting 10 million gold and elixir in Clash of Clans. That's a lot of gold and elixir. I can't hold that much. But right now is a really good time to do that with the dragons and the barbarians training so fast. So you could probably get there if you work at it. Reject for the win 100 said, my favorite dream is weird. In my dream, I wake up in the year 3000. We live underwater, but yet people still live on land. My family are a mixture of Antias, people that live underwater, and Lantias, people that live on land, and they attended a school like Hogwarts and have adventures. That sounds like a really good start of a book. The Seaboss22 says their favorite dream is when they licked the sidewalk. That's... I mean, okay, so I've seen a lot of things happen on the sidewalks here in New York, living here, like a lot. I mean, a lot. And I wouldn't recommend ever licking the sidewalk, even in your dreams. Bridget Donnelly says, my favorite dream, I have two. The one where I'm being chased by vampires in a giant bagel on the moon, and the one where a car drives me to Chicago and everything blows up. And no, I don't have any better dreams. Wow. Ditka89 said their best dream was prepare yourselves. It was raining watermelon. Now, slices or like the whole watermelons? Because I would think it would be a little bit dangerous with those things falling from the sky, but it would be awesome if they were whole watermelons like falling from the sky and smashing on the ground. It would be epic. For my favorite dream, I guess I'll go all way back to when I was a kid. There was one that made me really happy because as a kid, I had asthma and I couldn't really do the things that everybody else did. And so I had a dream one night that, and it may have been recurring now that I think about it, but that I didn't have asthma anymore. And I could run as far as I wanted to run, and I was, well, also like superhuman fast. That helped as well. But the part that really I remembered really well was that I didn't have asthma anymore, and that was a big deal. Now it doesn't really affect me much now unless I get sick or get within 5 feet of a cat. But it was really a big deal to me at the time. Now for next week's question, it comes to us from Naveed Nakvi, and it says, question for next week. What's your favorite cereal and why? It's a good one. Okay, guys, now before we get to the questions, for me, don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, just go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. Now on to the questions, and the first one comes to us from the Popular Pug, and it says, how do you decide which questions you're going to put on your Ask Think videos? Well, it depends on whether the questions, well, I look for questions that haven't really been asked before, anything that I think is interesting, that you guys might want to know, or it might be funny. Those are some of the criteria that I use. Also, sometimes I will repeat answers to frequently asked questions if they haven't been asked in quite some time, just like this one. Coolgirl4580 asks, why did you only have 2 hearts? And she's referring to the background gameplay of the last Ask Think, which was in Crazy Craft. And if you haven't watched Crazy Craft, if you notice the 2 hearts, there was a 7 next to it. That's because I have 6 times 10, so full bars, plus the extra 2 and the 7th bar, so I really had 62 hearts. Jesse Luo asks, are you scared because you live in New York City? And I heard there's going to be a blizzard there, and Boston, are you scared? Well, yeah, that was last week, and they were calling for like 20 to 30 inches of snow, which would have crippled the city. There was like 6. It was not bad at all. Rindha S says, why didn't you say there's a Think Noodles wiki? Well, I don't really have, I've never inputted anything into it. There is one out there that people run on Wikia, I think. But it's not officially endorsed or anything like that, but there's a lot of great information in it. Hyper Peach Explosion says, are you ever scared of the future with ISIS and stuff going on? It's tough because I'm scared of the future for the people in the Middle East, where ISIS is operating. But as far as here in the US, I'm not as scared as some politicians try and make us. They try and paint this picture like, if we don't take care of ISIS, if we don't go and fight, we're gonna, they're gonna come and kill all Americans. And it's not really that immediate of a threat directly to us at this point, especially because, they're all the way over there. They're fighting basically a war over in the Middle East of their own. But I do worry about the people there. Catherine Lurway asks, why do we never get snow in Britain? Mostly because snow was invented in America, and it costs a lot, I think, I'm just kidding, no. I don't know, I'm sure parts of Britain, like the northern parts, definitely get snow, right? Has to. If not, it could be the fact that, the UK is surrounded by ocean and something to do with the climate or the moisture levels in the atmosphere. I don't know what I'm talking about, but either way, I'm sure that you guys get some, but I guess we get more here. 1999 Blue asks, are you going to get the Apple Watch in April? I intend to, but it really does depend on the battery life. I've read reports, speculation, whatever you want to call it, that the battery life is only going to be about 18 hours, which is a bit annoying for a watch, because that's probably less, well, depending on how much I use the watch and how much I use my phone, but probably doesn't last as long as my phone. And especially also, because the only reason I would get one is if my wife would get one so we could like draw hearts to each other. That little thing where you can like draw things to each other. That's one of the main reasons I want it, is more of a toy. The thing is, my wife works 27, sometimes 30-hour shifts. And, a watch that lasts 18 hours would be really, really impractical for her. Nova Cat asks, what was your first impression of New York when you first went there? Well, okay, so the first time I ever came here was in 1986. Was it? Yeah, it was. And so that would have made me 9 years old. And we took a family trip up and we went to Niagara Falls and things like that. But we stopped here in New York for the bicentennial of the Statue of Liberty. I remember it pretty well because we were staying in New Jersey with some family, and we took the Staten Island ferry across to Lower Manhattan, and like all the streets were closed, and it was like a big deal. And so, but what I mostly remember about that was playing with firecrackers with my cousins, not in New York City, although I think at the time they were probably legal in the city still. But yeah, it really, that's what I remember the most. But I do remember coming into the city, and I think I got like a t-shirt, if I remember correctly. But when I got older, not as old as I am now, but older, and I came back to the city as an adult, I was really, really overwhelmed, as most people are when they first come to New York City. Will Hatcher asks, how many hours do you spend indoors? It depends on the day, really. I mean, if I'm working, well, playing video games, I'll spend, well, it's probably better to say how many hours I spend outdoors, because that's a lot easier to determine, because, I sleep 5-6 hours a night, so there's already 6 hours indoors, and then working and this and that. So I'd say on an average day I spend maybe about 3 or 4 hours outside, especially in the winter, not as much, more during the summer. And then, so on weekends or days off, we spend a lot of time outside. Pretty much most of the day we spend outside. So I guess it's because I stay home is sort of my office, my working office. So that's why I spend a lot of time inside. Tommy Panek asks, have you ever been snowmobiling? Well, I just was in my Things lab, but I've been in real life as well. But I was a kid, so I wasn't able to drive it. I was just able to ride on it. And it was really fun. I did it in Alaska. Vincent Miara asks, why is alto clef so unappreciated? My viola is alto clef. It's fine if you don't know, I was just wondering. I think because most instruments are on the treble clef. I mean, and some of the most popular instruments are on the treble clef, like, you know, a guitar, violin. There are so many, and I think it's just a lot more commonly used than the alto clef is. Juliana Pavlin asks, have you ever taken out the laundry and smelt it and said, this is so good? No, usually I take it out and say, oh God, this thing still smells. No, of course I do. When I take it out and it's got that bounce sheets smell, so good. Derpy Fun Rainbow said, wait, I've heard that people in New York smash their pizza together. For some reason it's because of the sauce. I really want to know, please tell me. Well, the reason being is usually when we get pizza, we're kind of on the go. New Yorkers are almost always on the go. So we just go and grab one slice and you're walking on the street, and the slices that they give out are pretty big in New York and fairly flat. So the crust is pretty thin, and if you don't, so what you'll do is you'll go and you'll grab the slice and you'll take like 2 bites from it. This is like, I'm actually holding, when I'm talking about it, I'm actually holding my hand in the, I guess, position that I always hold pizza in. It's something you just learn, and it becomes natural, but it's like a 3-fingered hold with your index finger in the middle and your middle finger on one side and your thumb on the other side. So you're holding it like that. You take 2 bites or so, and then as you're walking, you fold the pizza in half because it starts to flop if you don't. And what'll happen is you know, because it's flat and it's a wide piece of pizza, it'll just, you know, everything will just slide off. So what you do is you take a couple bites from the end and then fold it in half. So you kind of bring your middle finger and your index finger together and your thumb on the other side of the pizza, and then you just start eating it almost like a sandwich, so that the cheese and sauce and everything just don't fall while you're walking. Sheena1234 asks, have you ever been bird watching? Sort of. When we went to Africa on safari, some of the rarer birds were pointed out to us, so we were sort of bird watching, but we were also looking for, you know, lions and elephants and things like that. I almost said lions and tigers and bears, but they don't have tigers and bears there. Lana David says, what happened to the thumbnail with the episode number and why in the last Thing Slab Kobe wasn't wearing her collar? Well, okay, Kobe not wearing her collar, it was, I think you're just talking about when we were drinking the hot chocolate, and that was because I had to use custom NPCs to sit her there, so that she would look in that direction, otherwise she would be looking in a different direction. So that's why, because the custom NPCs one wouldn't have the collar. But as far as the thumbnail with the episode number, I kind of realized that there's no need for episode numbers on Ask Think, really. I think I started out Ask Think that way, and if you noticed, I didn't say the episode number here, although I may put it in the title at the end. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm just trying something out. Corey T says, hey Think, I need to ask, does not watching all your videos mean you're being a bad noodler? Like, I watch a lot, but not all series. For example, I don't really watch Crazy Craft. No offense, not my taste. So is it okay, or am I still a bad noodler? I really, really wish you would just no, I'm kidding. No. Of course, that's okay. That's why I play so many different games, or at least I play different games, but I also play different game modes or mod packs or whatever in Minecraft, because I know that not everyone has the same taste. So that's why I play different ones, so that you can like some of them and others you don't have to watch. Kelly Kawaii asks, are you excited for the new season of Walking Dead? well, technically not new season. I guess it's resuming the old or the last season or this current season, whatever. But yes, super excited for this Sunday. Taylor Watkins asks, what is your favorite Minecraft song / parody? Mine is Through the Night. I'd have to say that mine is still Take Back the Night from Captain Sparkles. I just love the song and the story and everything. And the animation is top notch. Epic Archers Plays asked, how did you get the /C URL for your channel? So I went and looked this up because I remember when I don't know if they sent an email or if I saw it somewhere, like an article about it, because I was like, how do I get that? And I started looking around my channel, I couldn't find it. And then I tried the URL and I already had it somehow. So I never chose it myself, but I did some research when I picked this question, and it turns out that in order to get the /C URL for your channel, you have to have at least 500 subscribers to be offered it. So while I said in the last video that you could just get it, it's not that easy. The Fried Bacon Gamer says, think I've got a Mac and I really want to play Terraria, but I don't know how to install it. Can you please help me? I found instructions online. They're really complicated, and I'm not, they're a lot better at giving out the written tutorial than I would be giving you a tutorial myself. So look it up. It is, I'm sure if you search like install Terraria Mac and then put Wine, W-I-N-E at the end, it should be able to teach you how to install Steam for PC. That's the way that you do it. You install it through an emulator, and it installs Wine as an emulator. It installs Steam for PC, and then from there you can buy Terraria on that version of Steam, and the PC version of Steam, and then install it, and then you can run it. It is highly technical though. Crystal Pretty Wing says, think, help. My friend got me back into Poptropica and started to make their own realm. Put a lot of work into it now whenever they log on. It asks to store information on my Mac. I'm really sad now that I can't play it. Does it do that to you? You know what? It did on Google Chrome when I went to play Galactic Hot Dogs Island. It said this thing, you do not have space, click allow or something like that. And but after I clicked the allow button there, it worked fine. So maybe try that? Andrea Soares says, think, how much do you play Clash? You go up and down all so fast. I don't know, just wondering. Many times a day. So here's the thing. I've noticed that if you progress faster in the game than anyone else, they'll call you a gemmer. It's like oh, there's no way you could pass me. You must be using gems. And obviously, that's not the case. I made a promise to you guys that I wouldn't, and I'm not. You can watch my gem count from episode to episode, and you will see there's nothing. I don't know if there's a way to show my transaction history or anything like that. I'd love to show that I've not bought any gems. I don't know if there's a way to look for that. If there is, let me know. But so here's the deal. The reason that I go up quickly is because this is my job. So I want to do well. I want to get better at the game so that you guys can enjoy it better. So what I do is I'll wake up in the morning and I'll collect from my gem collectors. And I always know what time my builders are gonna free up. I don't know, somehow I remember it in my head. So my builders really are only idle probably at the most for 30 minutes to an hour. In case I'm in the middle of recording something and I can't go and put them into something else. So, I mean, if you ever look at my base, you will hardly ever see my builders sleeping, ever. So that's one of the ways that I do it. I mean, I'm always keeping them active. And like I said, I'll go and record a video, and then I'll go check in on Clash and see, okay, did I get attacked? Do I have a shield up? Like, let me collect from my collectors. You know, and get my builders going. And that's really the key. It's the fact that, you know, I don't have school or anything like that, so I can constantly keep checking back into the game. Jason King asks, what's the best way to attack in Clan Wars on Clash of Clans? If you find out, let me know. I don't do very well in this last Clan War. We have no chance. The clan we were up against was very, very organized. We were watching them attack, and they were attacking one at a time. and they were only attacking anything. They were probably attacking only things they could 3-star, and it was a very coordinated attack. And they're very, very, very good. But I would say the best way to attack is to coordinate with the rest of your clan. And always, though, one strategy I do know is always lure the clan castle. There's almost 100% of the time there's going to be troops in someone's clan castle. Lure them away from the base, eliminate them first, and then start attacking. CC Kitty says, think on your Crazy Craft series. I notice you morph into a bat or anything that you can fly. You fly as you're morphing, and then when it finishes morphing, you fall and you have to get up again. Does that ever get annoying? Oh my goodness. It is the most annoying thing ever. I wish I could just disable the auto morph. Ugh. Allison Alfredson says, think in the Noodle Planet you said you were going to build a roller coaster. Where is that? Well, that's my underground railway. That's a roller coaster, isn't it? No. No, it's sort of in my little notepad of things to do eventually. I think once we're done with the boat and the village, and taken our noodle ship voyage, then we will start work on the roller coaster theme park thingy. Adila Bosad says, do you think why when you did Things Lab at the end, the pot of gold didn't have rainbows and it was just white? Well, that's because in Things Lab, you know, I download a copy of the Noodle Planet. Of course, I don't use the version that I have on my server. So, so that's just a copy, and you may have also, I don't know if you noticed, but if you look very closely, you can notice there's no sea lanterns. Everything is either, you know, glowstone, things like that. And also you might have noticed that there's no banners, that the computer's not there. So if you're getting what I'm getting at, it's in 1.7. That the mod that I was using, was it actually 1.7? That might have been, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that was in 1.7. Yeah, so the mod's in 1.7. So all of the 1.8 stuff, including colored beacons, does not exist in 1.7. And I actually had to take out some of the leaves so that the beacons in the cat room would actually work, because leaves are not considered transparent blocks to beacons in 1.7. XX Crazycraft XX asks, think, how did you make your 1.8 skin? What website did you use? I used Miners Need Cool Shoes, and they have a 1.8 skin editor there that I used. Sky Lipa asks, in Things Lab, why does Dave's computer keyboard keep changing? It depends. So originally it was a pressure plate with an invisible block behind it and a painting stuck to the invisible block. Now it is actually it was a piece of carpet. Now it's a pressure plate with a sign on one side and on the side of the pressure plate and a painting on that, because it turns out in 1.8 the invisible block thing is no longer available. So we're sort of future-proofing it so that when I use mods in 1.8, it will kind of match. Program Ninja asks, think, what texture pack did you use to make the doors and trapdoors open and close smoothly in Things Lab? It's actually not a texture pack. That is the Melissa's Doors mod, and it's really, really cool. Avigna asks, think, have you ever pooped in the pool? I mean, not recently, you'd hope. But actually, it's funny because you're saying it like as I think it's just a joke. Well, obviously, but when we were on vacation last, when we were at the we were by the pool, and twice in 2 days somebody pooped. Well, not a yes, a human, but not an adult. But twice in 2 days, a kid pooped in the pool, and they had to close the pool off. Oh, their parents must have been so embarrassed. Carlos11 asks, farming simulator. Add a T where the M is much better. Well, I mean, I guess a farting simulator would be funny for a little bit, but there wouldn't be much of a series there. I mean, I guess maybe you could like eat different foods and like see how they affect and simulate. Okay, enough. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, Noodle on!